up on the November 2nd edition of Carolina Week.
I'm Shaheen Sayal. I'll show you how Franklin Street goes from crowded to clean on Halloween.
It's that time of year again. I'm Heather Catlin, and I'll tell you who needs the flu vaccination and where you can get it.
Then in sports, the football team needs 3 wins to get to a bowl game. It also plays its next 3 games at home. Think Saturday's game against Boston College might be just a little important?
Plus a look at your Carolina Week 4-day forecast.
Carolina Week starts right now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
$50,000 people, months of preparation, and just an hour and a half of cleanup. Celebration is over. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tara Higgerson.
And I'm Lydia Garlikov. The annual Halloween party on Franklin Street drew to a close at about 2 a.m. Tuesday. Reporter Shaheen Sayal is in the newsroom to tell us that's when the fun started for city work crews. Shaheen?
Halloween, Franklin Street wears its own costume, thousands of people's trash. And after any big celebration, the town has to restore Franklin Street before businesses reopen just a few hours later. Every Halloween, thousands of people swarm Franklin Street to celebrate one of Chapel Hill's most anticipated events of the year. When the festivities come to an end, town employees work through the night to pick up remnants of the fun. So how do they do it, and so fast? Public Works employee Bert Johnson says heavy-duty equipment helps get the job done.
We got about 3 flushers and 4 sweepers. Then we got backpack blower. We blow the trash out in the road, and then the sweeper come through and sweep it up.
At the end of the night, police officers form a wall to move students off the streets so cleanup can begin. But planning and execution of an efficient Halloween cleanup doesn't happen overnight. According to Solid Waste Superintendent Harvey Howard, preparations can take up to 3 months.
Although we don't work with this all year long, about 60 to 90 days out before the function itself, we start meeting with fire, police, other town agencies, and develop our portion of the cleanup plan.
The morning after Halloween, some store owners have to do a bit of tidying up themselves. But for the most part, Franklin Street is once again business as usual. Lydia, crews have a lot of experience cleaning up after Franklin Street celebrations.
Shaheen, that crowd left an enormous mess. Did the cleanup crews have any problems getting it all taken care of?
Well, Howard says the only challenge to the massive cleanup effort was rescheduling residents served on a Tuesday garbage collection schedule to Wednesday. Lydia, that's because most sanitation workers were cleaning Franklin Street into the early hours of Tuesday morning.
Certainly a long night for them. Shaheen Sayal in the newsroom. Thanks, Shaheen.
Lots of people means more than lots of trash. It also means lots of potential customers. That's why many Chapel Hill business owners love the festivities. The management of Bruegger's Bagel on Franklin Street decided to get in on the action for the very first time this year. Instead of closing at 5 p.m., they stayed open until 2 in the morning. General Manager Josh Craddock says the festivities were so good for business, he plans to stay open late again next year.
It was nice. It was nice being open. The customers like seeing us here. A lot of them were real happy that we were open. And we've actually seen more customers in here today due to that.
According to Chapel Hill Police, Monday night's festivities also included several incidents of violence and even a shooting. Police arrested 2 people in connection to the shooting, which left 2 others injured. The incident took place on Lindsay Street, outside of the area designated for Halloween festivities. The police department issued a report Tuesday stating that 11 people were arrested out of the 50,000 in attendance. Charges included disorderly conduct, property destruction, assault on a government official, marijuana possession, and carrying a concealed weapon.
If you were out on Franklin for Halloween or any time this past week, you probably noticed a change. It might sound the same. But this crosswalk on East Franklin has a brand new look. During fall break, workers painted the crosswalk in front of Carolina Coffee Shop to look like red brick to make it more visible. The project cost nearly $15,000. It's expected to slow down traffic and make pedestrians safer.
The Chapel Hill Downtown Partnership hopes Franklin Street and the rest of downtown will soon have a wireless network. This Wi-Fi initiative would allow people to access the internet while at a table in a restaurant or outside on a bench. Downtown businesses like Caribou Coffee and Starbucks already have wireless access for a fee. The partnership wants to survey all local businesses to see whether providing the internet would benefit the downtown area. It's possible the university will also be a partner in the venture. Surveys will go out before the end of November.
You have until the end of this week to cast your vote early in local elections. More than 400,000 people statewide have already participated in the early voting. The previous record for early voting is about 390,000. So why is there low turnout at the Moorhead Planetarium voting facility? Voters have trickled into Moorhead, but in Raleigh, people waited in line to vote early. University students are most likely to use this facility because of its on-campus location, but are also the least likely to vote.
Well, a lot of students are registered in their hometown instead of being registered here, but I think one of the bigger issues is that some students feel like local politics don't really affect them.
As of Tuesday, only 321 people had voted at Moorhead Planetarium.
Students also cast their votes in another election for homecoming king and queen. Campaigners made one last attempt to sway voters Tuesday night. Students could vote for their favorite candidates online until 10 p.m. For homecoming queen, students voted for either Ada Wilson, Kadara Lowe, or Lauren Rennick. Homecoming king candidates included Clayton Perry, Jared Jenkins, and Matt Mullane. Winners will be announced before the homecoming game on Saturday.
From homecoming to finally coming home, it's already halfway into the semester, but some students are just now settling in. Tuesday, students began moving into Cobb Residence Hall. Construction delays have held up the move-in process until now. Contract workers hauled in truckloads of furniture and boxes from Beatty Hill, while students checked in at the office. Because of the large amount of furniture, only 20 to 30 students can move in each day. Even though renovation isn't quite finished, freshman Ron Sam says he's ready for a new start.
Cobb is closer to campus and won't be a 30-minute walk when I need to go to class, and I won't be sleeping in the student union as often because I can come home.
All 361 students will be moved in by November 15th. One of the concerns with living in such close quarters is the spread of the flu.
And this season, a particular form of the flu is receiving international attention. On Tuesday, President Bush unveiled a $7.2 billion plan to combat possible super flu outbreak. Part of his plan deals with the spread of bird flu, which has killed more than 60 people in Asia during the past 2 years and has caused the death of tens of millions of birds. The president also stressed the importance of fighting all forms of the flu as soon as possible.
A pandemic is a lot like a forest fire. If caught early, it might be extinguished with limited damage. If allowed to smolder, undetected, it can grow to an inferno that spreads quickly beyond our ability to control it.
Bush's plan emphasizes the importance of getting vaccinated. Reporter Heather Catlin has some advice about how you can do that right on campus.
For some of us, a change in season means a change in health. According to the Centers for Disease Control, more than 200,000 people are hospitalized each year with flu-like symptoms. Healthcare professionals like Stephanie Ferrari recommend that everyone get the flu vaccination.
I think it's important for everyone to be vaccinated. It's something that takes 30 seconds of prevention rather than 10 days in bed to get the flu.
She says it's especially important for high-risk individuals.
People that should definitely get the flu shot are healthcare professionals, anyone who cares for someone who's at high risk for the flu, which would be children, older adults.
If you want to get the flu shot, Student Health Services is offering vaccine clinics throughout November between the hours of 4 and 7 p.m. No appointment necessary. If you can't attend the clinics, you can call Student Health for an individual appointment. The cost for the shot is $20.
Many of us touch the exact same things here on campus. And regardless of whether or not you get the flu shot, there are many simple things that everyone can do to stay healthy.
Try to keep your hands away from your nose and mouth. Wipe an alcohol swab over things you use often to kill off any germs. Drink plenty of water. And most importantly, wash your hands frequently. In Chapel Hill, I'm Heather Catlin, Carolina Week.
Last year there was a shortage of flu vaccines, but this year the CDC says that there's enough to go around.
Still to come on Carolina Week.
We'll show you how this mountaintop, a half a world away, could become a classroom for some local students.
I'm a lion! Yes, you are. Come here. Let's see how this looks.
Hey, how's my little horse?
She's a lion.
Yes, she is.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. When you adopt a child from foster care, just being there makes all the difference.
It's springtime in the forest of the black-tailed deer. The young male is feeling playful. It's time for tag. The female flicks her ears. Her way of saying, "Catch me if you can."
This summer, Carolina Week's Sean Maroney and Christy Keck traveled to Chile to learn more about UNC's observatories in the Andes Mountains.
Sean joins us from the newsroom with the latest in our series of special reports.
Monday, I told you about the importance of northern Chile for astronomers from around the world, including some here at UNC. But Lydia, you don't have to be a scientist to enjoy the view. Starting next year, some North Carolina high school students will share time with astronomers on UNC's Prompt telescopes.
In the distance is La Serena, literally translated the serene. Yet above the quiet fog of the city, and under the clear blue sky, a buzz of activity takes place. As these domes atop Cerro Tololo close down, the sun comes up. Meanwhile, more than 5,000 miles away, North Carolina teacher Rob Greenberg explains to these 10th graders how they'll soon be able to use those telescopes.
You'll be able to do this right from the classroom using these laptop computers hooked up to the telescopes in Chile. Doesn't that sound cool?
And the students aren't the only ones excited.
This is unbelievable. I think it's fantastic. What an experience the students will have to be able to operate a telescope on the other side of the world and to be able to create a project for themselves.
UNC graduate student Melissa Nicewander led the construction of Prompt. She showed me how students will do their projects.
High school students that will be able to come and use Prompt. They'll use it through this website.
This site, thousands of miles away, now becomes the classroom, and those students become the astronomers gazing at the southern sky.
UNC astronomer Dan Reichert is the brainpower behind Prompt. He hopes this new classroom will shed a new light on science for students.
The goal really is to get them excited about science, get them interested in science, and maybe they'll pursue science in general, whether it's biology, chemistry, physics, or maybe even astronomy.
Moorhead Planetarium's Jesse Richuso helped design the upcoming curriculum. He says the strength of the plan will be its widespread usability at no cost.
It allows these high school students from all over North Carolina, rural, urban, it doesn't matter, to use these telescopes.
He hopes this free program will reinvent the learning process for all students.
Normally when, learn astronomy, it's from a book or diagrams on paper or graphs and stuff like that, kind of passive. Well, this will be more active learning.
Greenberg knows this active learning will stick with students beyond the semester.
20 years from now, they're not going to remember, something they did on page 55 of a textbook, the questions that they had to answer. They're going to remember a hands-on experience.
Hands-on, yet thousands of miles away.
30 North Carolina high schools will be the Moorhead Planetarium's guinea pigs starting in January. Until then, teachers like Greenberg will have to stick to the books in order to study the stars. Lydia?
Sean Maroney in the newsroom. Thanks, Sean.
Science isn't the most popular field among college students, but UNC's SPIRE program trains postdoctoral students in teaching and professional development. Recently, program organizers hosted undergraduate students from across the state.
The dilemma is that there's a progressive increase in body weight in our society.
Dr. Joseph Dunbar delivered a keynote address outlining his diabetes research and telling students how they can get into science-based careers. Organizers say this program helps students learn about postdoctoral research and opportunities in professional development through SPIRE.
Most students spend their days in the undergraduate or Davis Library. But there's another local library you might want to check out, Chapel Hill's Public Library. It's the top library in the state. That's according to Hennen's American Public Libraries rating, which rates libraries based on how much each spends per person in its municipality, how many items it carries per person, and how many people come through the door. This is the 8th year of the rankings and the 8th straight year Chapel Hill has won. North Carolina's public libraries as a whole rank 37th in the nation. UNC's Wilson Library is a great place to learn about cooking.
That's right, for sure, if Mama Dip is in the house. Mama Dip has written a book about her kitchen, a favorite eating spot for students at UNC. Mildred Council, Mama Dip herself, was at Wilson Library on Tuesday. She's appeared on TV nearly 20 times and has won numerous awards for her cooking. She spoke about her experiences in the kitchen and her new cookbook. Crowd members enjoyed themselves as Mama Dip told her stories about her past. She says her success was unexpected.
It's exciting to me because I never thought it would just do this much, and I never thought it would go this far or sell that much, you know.
Mama Dip will have a book signing on Saturday from 3:30 to 5 p.m. at the Bull's Head Bookshop.
Weathercaster Miles Henderson is here. Now, when I left this morning, it was cold.
And I was going to bring a jacket, but weather.com said it was going to be, in the low 70s. What's going on, Miles?
Mother Nature's just trying to decide if it wants to stay in summer or switch to fall. And the leaves are starting to fall all throughout the triangle. I'll let you know if temperatures are going to fall as well when Carolina Week returns.
This is Mommy's bed. Me and Jenny were jumping on it. Mommy's gun fell on the floor. I was a cowboy. Bang, 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 bang. I said, Jenny, wake up, it's just pretend. But she wouldn't wake up.
When you shop in Orange County, your money comes back to you.
Thank you for shopping Orange.
So shop Orange and see what a difference you can make.
Hi, and welcome back to Carolina Week. It's been very sunny throughout the beginning of the week, and temperatures have been well above average. That should continue throughout the week and into the weekend as we see temperatures almost 10 degrees above average. As we head into the beginning of next week, though, a cold front moves into the area, which could put an end to this beautiful weather we've been seeing. Let's start out by taking a look at the satellite imagery. There's the remnants of a system that came through Tuesday night that just brought us some clouds. There's rain further to the south, but throughout most of the Carolinas, nothing but clouds. And that leaves us basically dry skies as a high-pressure system moves in. Off to the west, there's a big system creating snow showers through the Dakotas, mainly tomorrow night. That's going to slowly propagate our way. If we take a look at the surface imagery, that's associated with this low-pressure system and the dangling cold front. As it pushes its way across, it's going to gradually deteriorate. So by the time it gets to the East Coast on Monday, I'm just going to drop temperatures just a couple of degrees and bring in clouds and a very, very slight chance of rain. Not enough to cancel your plans quite yet. Let's take a look at your 4-day forecast. For Friday, high of around 75 degrees as the sunny skies continue. Into the weekend, the warming trend really gets going as we top out around 77 degrees. As we move into Monday, temperatures settle down just a little bit with a high of around 76, and the clouds roll in as that cold front moves towards the East Coast. If you're planning on taking a trip to the coast this weekend, it's going to be nothing but great weather. Sunny skies both Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures on 78 both days and lows in the lower to mid 50s. If you're planning on heading the opposite direction to the mountains, it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. The fall foliage is peaking right now, so it's going to be great just to go out and enjoy the multicolors of the trees. Saturday, look for sunny skies, high of around 70 degrees with a low of 47. On Sunday, the clouds roll in as that cold front approaches. Temperature around 68 degrees with a low of 46. If you're headed out that way, it's going to be quite chilly at night, so make sure you bring a light jacket with you. Back in Chapel Hill, The game is on Saturday. From what I hear, it's a very important one for the Tar Heels as they take on number 19 ranked Boston College. Kickoff's at noon, and the temperature should be around 71 degrees with a light southwesterly wind.
All right, well, thank you, Miles. Hopefully it'll be a great game day, and that'll also equal to a great game outcome.
I hope so.
All right, thanks, Miles.
We are hoping so. Philip Jones has our sports. Miami was last week. This is where Carolina is home. Must win, right?
Well, we'll get to that a little later on in sports. The Heels do need to win 3 of their next 4 games to be eligible for a bowl. We'll get you more about that a little later on. But first, coming up in sports, think you've got what it takes to be the next Rocky Balboa or Apollo Creed? We'll show you a new club sport that's going the distance.
Don't walk. Don't walk. Walk. Do not enter. Hot dogs. Definitely like hot dogs. Motorcycle club. Everything must go. Ghostly ghouls. Don't look at that, Teddy. Body piercing. Ouch.
Everyday moments can become teaching moments because learning starts long before school does. Give your child the start they need at bornlearning.org.
Thousands of kids in this country have everything it takes to go to college, except the money. The United Negro College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Welcome to Carolina Week Sports. I'm Philip Jones. The Tar Heel football team has to win 3 of its next 4 games or it's not going to a bowl. With the next 3 games at home, the Heels know they have to get off to a good start against Boston College this Saturday.
You only want to look back on some of the good things you did and improve on the bad things. We played probably as complete a half of football as we've ever played here, and against a really great team, and we outplayed them. But you got to do it for 2 halves, and I'm hopeful that we can have that complete game in the future. I want it to be this week. We've got to really play a great game defensively, and offensively we need to get back on track. We need more production out of players besides McGill, Holly, and our tight ends. We need more productions out of other receivers.
But ultimately, this is a very good team, and when we get, all 11 guys on offense and defense and special teams all be on the same page, and to finish games, not just play a half, a quarter, 3 quarters, 2 quarters and a half, to finish a complete game, then I'm confident enough that we'll be able to go out there and win 3 out of the next 4 games.
Well, we hope that confidence translates into a few wins. The Heels will look to continue their revenge tour. The Eagles beat Carolina in the Continental Tire Bowl 37-24 last year. Well, the volleyball team gave State a late Halloween treat on Tuesday. The Heels swept the Wolfpack in 3 close games. Senior Camilla Ihinatu dominated offensively, while fellow senior Taylor Rayfield finished with 20 digs. Rayfield says the team was ready to make it a quick match after its 5-game squeaker at State.
We definitely didn't want to go to 5 again. We thought that we should be able to take NC State at 3. We're playing at home. We had a great crowd, and it was a great chance to just take them in 3.
Well, volleyball isn't the only team serving up TKOs. There's a new sports team at Carolina, and reporter Erica Barrera isn't pulling any punches to bring us the story.
Where can you find quick jabs and uppercuts that really hurt? No, this isn't a scene out of the basement of Fight Club. It's a scene from the women's gym, and it's Carolina boxing. After receiving official recognition from the university, the team practices 2 days a week in the gym and the racquetball courts. Organic chemistry professor Paul Kropp teaches the students proper boxing technique that he learned as an undergraduate boxer for Notre Dame. He says his love of boxing is what pushed him to create an opportunity to teach other students about it.
A number of students had said to me that they wished that there were something here, and so we decided to just start with just an informal group. And the group has grown by word of mouth. We haven't advertised it in any way, but just by word of mouth, the numbers have grown substantially.
Team member Frank Zong says it's Professor Kropp's one-on-one style of teaching that has made him a better boxer.
He knows a lot, and he's really good at letting you know where you're weak at just by showing it to you when you're sparring with him.
Whether Professor Kropp is dishing out the punches or it's a teammate, Jonathan Gutierrez says sparring isn't personal.
We're not like trying to kill each other. We're just trying to better our form and get better. You know, if one guy does one thing, how are you going to react to him versus if another guy does something else, how do you react to that? So it's really just about learning with each other, helping each other learn more.
Official recognition from the university is only the first step for this team. The next step is to find opponents because no other schools in the Triangle area have boxing teams. In Chapel Hill, I'm Erica Barrera, Carolina Week Sports.
Well, the Tar Heel men's basketball team will be taking the court again. The season kicks off on Friday with an exhibition game against Fayetteville State at 7:30.
Ooh, I'm ready for that.
I know I have my exhibition tickets. I didn't even realize it was so soon on Friday, so I'm excited.
Yep, basketball season's ready to go.
All right, thanks, Phil. Well, Franklin Street has seen it all.
And this week's crowd was no exception. Still to come, from terrifying to tasty, we'll show you the best of what Franklin Street had to offer for Halloween.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll put that out.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
Lydia, Franklin Street can be pretty scary on Halloween, especially
with the holiday. Yeah,
exactly.
And tens of thousands of people. Carolina Week's Davina Van Buren took to the streets as a first-time reveler.
Franklin Street on Halloween. It's a whole different kind of scary, especially to a newcomer on the scene.
Chapel Hill is famous for its Halloween celebrations, but having never celebrated on Franklin Street before, I wanted to see what all the fuss was about for myself. Come on.
Right away, it was obvious that this celebration was all about the costumes. There were perennial favorites, to superheroes, to the confusing, to the downright bizarre.
Crap!
Food seemed to be a popular theme.
I'm representing Cosmic Cantina Burrito here.
So naturally, some of the costumes looked good enough to eat and drink.
Yeah, I'm a beer keg. People have been tapping me all night, the ladies especially. Oh yeah.
Surprisingly, some of the most creative costumes were last-minute ideas.
I was so pumped about Christmas, and Halloween came up, and I was like, all right, let's be a Christmas tree.
It was a last-minute thing, really. Made it about 2 hours before I came.
But not all of them.
I've been planning it since birth. My parents have trained me in all that Cathol teaches.
Everyone seemed to have a favorite costume.
I've seen Optimus Prime tonight. That was pretty inventive.
What's the little thing? It's like the cube, and you try to figure out how to. Yeah, the Rubik's Cube.
Eve, if you know what I mean.
In Chapel Hill, I'm Davina Van Buren, Carolina Week.
While I didn't make it out to Halloween, from what I could hear from Keenan Dorm, it was very exciting.
Oh, it was quite the excitement. Just as every year, you have a ton of people all dressed up, lots of sights to see.
50,000, police said.
It was incredible.
In other exciting news, though, recently in Kansas City, there was the Collegiate Broadcasters Incorporated competition. Carolina Week came in first place in the nation in TV newscasts.
That's right. We have our trophies here on the desk, and we also came in first place for Carolina Connection, first place in the national radio competition. So you can check that out, carolinaweek.org.
We're very excited.
We're very excited.
Thanks so much. That's going to do it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for watching. Good night.